Hello and welcome to Wild Heart Yoga Holistic Healing for today's Yin Flow for the middle splits. We are going to begin today on our backs in Happy Baby. So when you're ready, make your way to your back, grabbing the outsides of your feet or perhaps your big toes with the peace fingers. And with every exhale, think about pulling those knees as close as you can towards the mat. Maybe you want to take a few rocks side to side here, gently massaging that lumbar spine. And while you're here, go ahead and set your intention for today's class. Maybe setting the intention to be present throughout this practice. Or maybe setting an intention for what you would like your focus to be throughout this day as well. For what you would like to carry beyond the mat today. You can keep holding your Happy Baby as is, or if you'd like, you can start extending one leg slightly at a time, keeping the other bent. And then switching, just gently working into the hamstrings a little bit, waking everything up before we get into our longer yin holds for today. Good, release now, hugging the knees into the chest, and begin taking 3 or 4 rocks until you can roll yourself up to your feet, landing in our yogic squat. So once you roll up, you want the feet at the outer edges of the mat, toes pointing out slightly. Palms are together in prayer, pressing into each other actively, using those elbows to drive the knees further away, getting deep into our hips here, into the adductors, the inner thigh. And maybe you want to just sway slightly side to side, getting a little movement in here, waking the joints up. Making sure that the spine is staying tall and long here, imagining a string pulling up from the top of your head all the way into the sky. And while we're here, just begin bringing your awareness to that breath, drawing in a deep breath of oxygen into those areas of stiffness, into the hip joints. And as you exhale, see if you can release any resistance that the body's holding on to, so that gravity can use your body weight to take you a bit deeper into this pose. Very good. Release the hands to the mat now, heel toeing the feet together, coming into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the shins. Then exhale, fold back down. Bend in the knees, roll up one vertebrae at a time, reaching overhead for a breath. And exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up for one more breath. As you exhale, turn and pivot, making your way into the warrior two. So the right toes are facing the front of the mat, back foot is parallel to the end of the mat. Arms level, head looking over that right arm, through those right fingertips, and every exhale, see if you can sink a little bit deeper into that right leg, feeling that inner thigh stretch through the left leg. Turn the palms up toward the sky, and as you exhale, reach the right arm overhead, left arm reaches down your back leg or behind your back, making our way to our peaceful warrior. Looking up toward the sky, chest is opening up here, continuing to sink in toward that right leg. Good, exhale now as you release the hands, bringing them to prayer, and then we're going to take our side lunge. So you're squatting toward that right side now. The front foot is now parallel toward the front of the mat, and the back toes are pointing up towards the sky here. Once again, if you are not sitting this low in this pose today, that's perfectly fine. Just work with where you're at, starting at the top and slowly squat down toward that right side. If you need extra help with the balance here, you can place your fingertips on the mat to hold yourself steady instead of keeping the hands in prayer. Or you're also able to plant the right fingertips on the mat, taking a side body reach with the left arm overhead, or perhaps taking a full bind as I am. If you're taking a full bind, your right arm is reaching around behind that right leg, with your left arm reaching behind your back for your hands to meet. Once again, thinking about opening that chest up towards the sky while we're here. This is our first yin pose that we'll be holding for 2 minutes today. So again, be mindful of tuning into your breath, using the breath here to help you get the most out of this practice. Inhaling deeply through the nose, and exhaling like a heavy sigh from the back of the throat. You're halfway through your time on this side. Stick with it. Keep breathing. Keep being mindful. If your body's screaming at you right now, then it's okay to back off slightly, but I encourage you to stay and try to breathe through it instead of completely stopping or coming out of the hold altogether. These sometimes difficult or uncomfortable holds is our chance to be able to practice our resiliency and increasing our thresholds for distress tolerance as we learn to breathe through uncomfortable feelings or sensations. Let's take one more slow inhale. As you exhale, bring the hands back to prayer and begin to press your way up. Arms out to the side, and we're going to take our warrior two on the other side now. So this time the left toes are facing the end of the mat and the right foot is parallel to the end of the mat. Arms out, looking over those right fingertips this time. Hips tucked under, belly button pulled into the spine, keeping that spine tall and long here. Once again, every exhale, see if you can sink into that front leg a little bit more, deepening the stretch through the inner thigh of the right leg. Now as you exhale, take the left fingertips up and overhead, right arm reaching down the right leg or behind your back for a peaceful warrior on the other side now. Opening that chest up toward the sky still. Good, and release, inhaling the arms overhead and exhale them to prayer as you begin to squat down toward that left side now. This time right toes pointing up toward the sky, left foot parallel toward the edge of the mat. And again, you can take that side body reach, plant your fingertips on the ground here, or take your full bind, meeting the hands behind your back. If you find that your mind is drifting, that you're becoming distracted or not present in what you're doing right now, just gently bring yourself back to this present moment, taking in the sensations that you're feeling in your body, noticing what is coming up for you in your mind if you are finding yourself distracted, without engaging in it, just simply noticing what's happening for you right now. Then perhaps tuning back in to that breath, noticing how that inhale feels going into your lungs as you draw that into areas of stiffness. And just feeling the air as it passes through with every exhale. Letting go of anything that is not serving you in this moment that can wait till later. Just knowing that you're exactly where you need to be right now. While you're here, also maybe take note of whether or not this side feels different from the other side, just noting any potential imbalances within yourself. Intentionally drawing our awareness to our imbalances and areas of stiffness is a great way to gradually help our practice go beyond our mat, because as we notice these things during our practice, it becomes easier to become aware of patterns, postures, etc. that affect our alignment throughout the day, so we can become more aware of maybe is what contributing to our stiffness and pain. All right, release the hands to the mat now. Go ahead and make your way to your knees. We're going to take our frog pose. So here you want your knees bent at a 90-degree angle, feet flexed, and just walk the knees out away from each other so that you're going into as deep of a middle split type position here as you can. And maybe you're staying up on your hands today. Maybe you need a bolster or a pillow under your chest so you can relax into this a little bit more comfortably. If so, feel free to pause this video and grab any props that you'd like to use today. But once there, make sure that your hips are aligned over the legs, so you're not too far forward or too far back. You want a straight line between the hips and the thighs. And once you've checked your position, Go ahead and see if you can just relax into this. Maybe bring yourself down to your elbows if that's within your practice. Or if you're in a full middle split position, go ahead and extend your arms out ahead of you, coming all the way down to your belly. This is another one of those poses that can be pretty uncomfortable or intense, especially if you do not practice it often. So this is your reminder to come back to that breath. Inhale, breathing in relaxation. Exhale away tension melting. Telling yourself that you can do this, you can withstand this sensation in your body. With every breath, releasing a little more resistance, allowing gravity to take you a bit deeper. Only 30 more seconds here. You are doing awesome. Stay with it. Keep breathing. We're almost there. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, begin to press yourself back up, just gently walking those knees back together, and then bring your way up to your feet, finding your wide-legged forward fold. So here you want the toes pigeoned in just slightly to protect the knees, and then begin to fold forward, thinking about getting that head towards the mat. If this is difficult for you today, you can always spread the feet a little bit wider. The wider your legs are spread, the easier this will be. And while you're here, allow your head to be heavy, allowing the neck to release. If you're able, grabbing behind the ankles, pulling yourself deeper into this wide leg forward fold. Just one more minute in this wide-legged forward fold. If your mind is drifting again, go ahead and gently bring yourself back to the present moment, coming back to that intention you set at the beginning of today's practice, tuning back in. Draw one more deep inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, begin to round your spine back up. Then inhale the arms overhead. Exhaling, hands to prayer heart center. One more time. Inhale as you sweep the arms up. And exhale, hands to prayer. Now begin slowly heel-toeing those feet away from you as we begin to make our way down to our middle split here. So you're just going to go as low as you can today, not forcing anything. Maybe you're going to stay up on your hands. Perhaps you want to place a block or a bolster under your hips here to help hold you up. And once your legs are about as wide as they can go, if you're able, bring yourself down to your elbows. And again, if you are in your full middle split, all the way down to your belly, then extend your arms out ahead of you. Holding here for 2 minutes. I actually do not practice the middle splits near as often as I should, as you can probably tell. And so when I do this, I actually get a lot of trembling in my muscles, in the inner thigh and hip muscles. If you are experiencing trembling of the muscles also, that is actually a good thing. So a lot of times we store emotional energy in the body, and this twitching and tremoring of the muscles is our body's way of discharging some of that energy. There are actually therapy modalities out there that are aimed at intentionally trying to trigger this tremor response in order to release the stored energy. So if you are experiencing this tremoring today, stick with it, keep breathing through it. Backing off slightly if you have to, making sure you know the difference between pain and discomfort in your body. But if it's just discomfort and trembling happening, keep doing what you're doing, keep breathing through it, keep sticking with it. You're doing incredible things for your mind and body today, and you should feel very proud of yourself for taking this time to care for yourself in this way. Awesome job, you did it. Go ahead and slowly begin by lifting your chest back up, and then slowly heel toe those feet back together until you can make your way to your knees. And then we're going to find our way to our backs, first just hugging the knees and toward the chest again. Maybe circling the knees here out and inward, just making this feel good for the hip joints. Then bring the soles of your feet together, releasing the knees as we find our Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined butterfly. And while you're here, go ahead and place one hand on the low belly, one on the chest, and let's practice our 3-part breathing. So as you inhale through the nose, pull that air into the belly, then into the ribs, then into the chest, and then we're going to exhale, chest, ribs, belly, being aware of that breath, mindful of it. Inhaling, belly, ribs, chest. Exhaling, chest, ribs, belly. Continuing on your own now. On your next inhale, take a big reach of the arms overhead as the knees come together, and turning onto your side, and make your way to seated at the center of the mat for our closing breaths together. As you inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. One more time, inhaling as you reach the arms up, and exhale, hands to prayer. Bowing down and thanking yourself for honoring your mind and your body in this way today. Thank you so much for joining me and for checking out today's class. I hope you feel recharged and ready to tackle whatever comes your way today. Have a wonderful day, friends. Namaste.